In this clip, what we're going to look at is ratio examples. So if you need a recap of ratios, there is a previous video clip which looks at it. So what we've got is we've got two past paper questions. Now the first past paper here says experiments were carried out to investigate the hypothesis that the uptake of ions into mammalian cells by active transport takes place by active transport. The concentration of potassium ions and chloride ions inside and outside the mammalian cells were measured, and the table shows the results obtained at an oxygen concentration of 4.0 units. So the question we're going to look at here is the ratio question, which is this point here. And it says, from the table, calculate the simplest whole number ratio of potassium ions to chloride ions outside the mammalian cell. The first thing we need to take into account is the ions outside the cell, which is this information here. So we've got two figures. We've got ion concentration outside the cell for potassium is 5 and for chloride is 110. So what we're looking for is the potassium ions on the left and the chloride ions on the right. So the potassium ions we have 5 and the chloride ions we have 110. However, this is not the simplest whole number ratio. This is a whole number ratio, but it's not the simplest. So what we can do is we can simplify this by dividing both sides by 5. So if I divide 5 by 5, I get 1, and I divide 110 by 5, I get 22. Now this is the point where you should use your calculator, or at least check your calculation using your calculator. There is no point having worked out the answer, having done all the biology work to basically make a simple mathematical error and get it wrong. Just double check our potassium ions on the left, which is 5, so it's this side, so what we get is a ratio of 1 to 22. Now, as a second example, what we have here is an investigation was carried out into effective competition when two species of flower beta, Tribolium confusum and Tribolium castaneum, were kept together in a container with a limited food supply. Graph 1 shows the number of two species over a period of time in the absence of a parasite, and graph 2 shows the effect of the presence of the parasite on the beetle number. The question we're looking at is part B of the question. It says, from graph 1, express as simplest whole number ratio the population size of T. confusum to T. castaneum at 250 days. The first thing you need to take into account is information from graph 1. Now, I've only taken graph 1 out to show you, but in an exam you need to make sure you take information from the correct graph, and it's at 250 days. So if we go along here, each of these is worth 20, so 200, 220, 240, 250 is this part here, and we're looking for the ratio of T. confusum to T. castaneum. So T. confusum is here, is this value here, and what you find is there's 5 boxes up to 25, so each of these boxes worth 5 beetles, so 5, 10, 15, 20. And for castaneum, it's 25 at 250 days it's here, and that goes across to 50. So what we've got is we've got 20 for confusum and 50 for castaneum. So if we take those numbers and put them down, making sure, as we said, we put them on the right side, so the ratio is 20 to 50. And what we have here again is a whole number ratio, but it's not the simplest whole number ratio. So in this instance, what we can do is divide both sides by 10, simplify it. If you divide 20 by 10, you get 2, and if you divide 50 by 10, you get 5. And then again, what we've got is we've got our simple whole number ratio of 2 to 5. And that is examples of how to calculate whole number ratios.